Selkies. I don't think I pronounced that right, but I did love this film. I thought that it was almost kind of not quite trance-inducing, but it was very, very mellow. It was very, very relaxing. It was very, very not. It was like tranquil, and I loved that the tone and the poetry or the story kind of all fed into that same theme, especially when you're dealing with the water, which I think for a lot of people naturally has those tendencies, naturally has that kind of effect where it is very tranquil and it is very calming and it is almost meditative. And so I liked that the way that the story was presented played right into all of those themes as well. I loved the perspective shift. In by the end of this, you're almost having the perspective of a person that has gone down and is hearing about and seeing the destruction and scar of humanity and man that has been left on the home, the ecosystem of sirens and of mermaids and of all of these kind of mystical creatures. But when you strip away the fantasy of all of that, you're left with the realities that, like, those are in fact ecosystems. That our oceans are in fact ecosystems, but it shifts the perspective. It gives you something else, and I think that it invokes empathy, and with empathy can come action. And I think that it was just really, really beautifully done, and I really enjoyed it.
I really like Med Selkies. It was definitely like a visual poem type beat. Like it definitely felt like a poem in cinematic language, which I rock with, you know. Um, which is and I say that to say this felt like somebody who understands the language of cinema as far as juxtapositioning images to create meaning, as far as like and letting the audience kind of do that work, as far as like ocean then trash type beat, you know. So I thought that was really cleverly well done, clever and well done. Um, Also, I wanted to shout out the sound design. As far as like, I don't know how y'all got underwater, like how y'all, what filters y'all use to make underwater sounds. Maybe y'all just brought the mic underwater. I don't know, but I rocked with it, and especially mixing with the music and everything. I don't know. I don't know what y'all did, but I know that the sound design stood out to me as uh something that was impressive. So great job.
Selkies. Um, Cinematography was really cool on this, especially the time lapse of the clouds. I liked what they did with the voiceover and with the text on the screen. I think the filmmakers used a lot of AI in this, and they did a nice job blending the AI with the live footage. Um, I think that was well done. And I think that it was really interesting subject matter. I mean, watching it was interesting, and I think that they did a nice job on this.
Med Selkies brings you to this relaxing plunge of an underwater experience, an excursion, and you don't expect to be one with the fishes in this sort of way, but in the sense of having this moment where you're stuck in this trance of being floating within the waters of the deep ocean. We get this sense of poetic words that were being read on the screen, and we get to have this really nice flow that we get to see with the fishes. But as we're reading the words and seeing the visuals that are paired with them, it's as if we are being spoken to, but we are also in this sense of crowded community of a species that is outside of us. And so it's kind of giving us a moment to appreciate this art, but also take this moment to sort of step out of ourselves into this poetic spiritual experience almost, as we're going through this natural flow within the water as well.